But now to our other big story. County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher is accused in a lawsuit of sexual harassment and sexual assault. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt. The news comes days after Fletcher announced he was ending his state Senate campaign to seek treatment for PTSD and alcohol abuse. ABC 10 News reporter Adam Rakusin has been going through the lawsuit, which claims Fletcher stalked the woman on social media and sexually touched her without consent multiple times. Adam.
Hey, Kimberly, it talks about interactions that went on for almost 2 years, ones that first started with allegations of Fletcher viewing social media videos and sharing emojis to interactions in person. The woman at the center of the lawsuit claims she knew Fletcher was too powerful, especially within MTS, to risk upsetting by trying to make him stop. County Supervisor and now former board chair at MTS Nathan Fletcher accused of sexual harassment and assault. A lawsuit made public Wednesday accuses Fletcher of forcing himself onto former MTS employee Gracia Figueroa, touching her sexually and without her consent numerous times, first in the stairwell of his hotel, then at least 2 additional times at MTS headquarters. We're naming Figueroa in this case because she told us it was okay to do so. Our normal policy is not to name people claiming to be victims of sexual assault. According to the lawsuit in May of 2021, Fletcher began to stalk Figueroa online. Screenshots from her social media show his reactions to her pictures and private messages. According to the lawsuit, social media posts and messages turned into in-person interactions. The lawsuit describes a night at his hotel where he asked to kiss her, but she rejected his advance, pointing out that he was married and she had no intention of having anything more than a conversation. The lawsuit also describes multiple allegations of sexual assault during and after MTS meetings. According to the lawsuit, in December of last year, Fletcher grabbed Figueroa's breasts underneath her blouse, pulling off some of her clothes. The lawsuit says Ms. Figueroa was intimidated by the dynamic Fletcher had created, and she feared that she would lose her job if anyone found out that she was being pursued sexually by the senior most ranking official at MTS, its board chair. The lawsuit claims despite those fears, Fletcher's behavior continued. Then in February of this year, the day Fletcher announced his official candidacy for a seat in the California State Senate, Figueroa says she was fired from MTS. Figueroa is suing both Fletcher and MTS. ABC 10 News reached out to Figueroa and her attorney for a comment on the lawsuit and did not hear back. A spokesperson for Nathan Fletcher also didn't have anything to say this afternoon. However, Fletcher and his attorney released lengthy statements this morning, even before the lawsuit was made public. They called the allegations false, saying they're designed to drive headlines and not tell the truth. In a statement, Fletcher said in part, "Last year I made a terrible mistake engaging in consensual interactions with someone outside my marriage. I made it clear it could not continue or advance and desperately hoped I could leave this mistake in my past. However, this individual and an attorney demanded millions of dollars from me and my family with the threat of not only embarrassment, but a willingness to lie about the circumstances and nature of the interactions." And one of the allegations is failure to prevent sexual harassment and retaliation. I asked the County of San Diego if Fletcher completed any sexual harassment prevention courses as part of his role. They say he did in October of 2021. And Kimberly, that's the same month the lawsuit accuses him of surfacing on Figueroa's social media accounts.
Thank you, Adam. And as Adam reported, the lawsuit contains explosive allegations. Figueroa also states others knew about Fletcher's alleged sexual advances toward her, including Council President Sean Elo Rivera. She claims Elo Rivera stared at her for a prolonged period of time during a meeting. And in the last hour, Elo Rivera responded, saying in a statement, quote, "I was completely unaware until today of any inappropriate conduct or communications between Ms. Figueroa and Supervisor Fletcher, and I do not condone such behavior." The lawsuit set off a local political firestorm. ABC 10 News reporter Austin Grabish is joining us now live with that aspect of the story. Austin?
Kimberly, I'm live outside the county administration building downtown, and it is quiet out here, but inside a firestorm is underway, and that is because Nathan Fletcher has resigned from his position as the chair of MTS. He is still a sitting county supervisor tonight. Now, here is what we know so far. On Monday, Nathan Fletcher made headlines when he announced he was checking into a treatment center for PTSD, trauma, and alcohol abuse. He said it became clear he needed to focus on his health and family and no longer had the energy to pursue a run for state senate. Less than 24 hours later, we now know he is facing a sexual harassment lawsuit from that former MTS employee who alleges Fletcher sexually assaulted her. Now, Craig Barkas is a law expert at the University of San Diego, and I just spoke to him in the last couple of hours here at the university, and he says these allegations are explosive. He read some of them quickly before he chatted with us, and he says even in cases where office relationships are consensual, they're deeply problematic. He calls them dangerous situations, and he tells us what he thinks we could see as this case goes through the courts. Take a listen.
Typically, one of the narratives starts to generate a lot of momentum versus the other. And then you also have the credibility issue. Obviously, when explosive allegations like this occur, you have people often very, very firmly rooted in one side or the other. And maybe those people can't be persuaded, but it's most of us in the middle who are waiting for the full story to come out that ultimately make a judgment as to how things will play out.
And Kimberly, Fletcher is now facing calls to resign here from his position with the County of San Diego. His spokesperson tells me that he is currently on a medical leave outside of the state of California to get help. He is not resigning from his position as we are on the air tonight. Reporting live downtown, Austin Grabish, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Austin. You can keep up with developments on this story by downloading our free mobile app. You can go to the App Store and search 10 News.